This is a review of the Logitech MX Vertical Wireless Optical Mouse. This is a new style mouse from Logitech. I'm actually a real big fan of their products. They make some really good stuff. I have a wide variety of their mice and keyboards. So this is their new vertical mouse. I was actually very excited when they introduced this because I was waiting for them to come out for a product like this, because I've been using just standard traditional mice. In fact, this here is my regular mouse I use. It's considered a more travel or laptop mouse, but this is a great mouse. And we'll talk a little bit more about it and compare it to this guy a little bit. Alright, so one of the features I'm really disappointed that this mouse does not have is Logitech's. This is one of their pieces of technology here where you could scroll wheel will operate in two modes. Right now it's in freewheel, where I could just spin it and it just keep going. Sometimes you want it to operate click to click and have some friction to it. So this operates in two different modes. Well, many of Logitech's higher end mice have this feature. This one doesn't. This one operates like a traditional mouse wheel. I would actually like the other feature, but I can understand why they might have went with this. It's very light. Doesn't feel like there's a battery in it. It might feel like the weight of maybe one AA, if I was to guess, but maybe that. I actually prefer a heavier mouse. This is a heavy mouse, especially for its size. Compared to this guy's half the weight. I mean, this might look a lot smaller. It's a little beast. It's USB-C. The USB charge port is right in the front tip of the mouse. You want to be able to use your mouse while it's recharging. It's going to die on you when you least expect it. Probably the biggest thing to adjust to here is that not only are you grabbing like this, but this is a tall device. This is coming up maybe even more than 3 inches off the table height. And if I just rest my hand next to this thing, you can see it towers above it. I'll do this just to kind of help you out in case you're wondering about hand size. It is super comfortable to hold. I mean, it is very, very comfortable. Now, I do wish you could adjust the height of the space here. I feel like it's a little thick. And going back to that height issue, if I'm sitting here typing away at something and grabbing my mouse, you can see, even now, you have to know to get your hand up and over it. If you're using a regular mouse and you slide, and it's just going to land right on it. But when you're using this guy, you're going to have to know. Jeez, I didn't realize this guy was still paired with the computer. You're going to have to know. You have to train yourself to go up and over it. That could be a little bit of a deal breaker. Or you're going to have to go around it. It's a little bit of a training thing, but at work I use a keyboard tray, which puts this in my lap on a floating tray, and I basically chop this thing right down to the floor. So the overall grabbing and coming at it, the attack is going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be a little bit of a training thing. I've been using this mouse for a number of months. It's definitely less of an issue, but it's still an issue. And mainly because I still use other mice. The button placement is really nice. And the tactical feel of the buttons is great. It's one of the better mouse buttons that they have made. Oh, they have such responsiveness to them. They're nice. And even these side buttons here are very helpful. They're at a real good spot. They're just as responsive as your main left and right clicks. Now the oddity one is this guy. This is just like by default, this button changes the sensitivity of the mouse, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. but you could assign it to anything, and I've toyed with a lot of things because it is in an odd spot. To lift the thumb and grab here, you almost have to change the entire hand position. I've tested with this a few times, and it's really never been comfortable, and I never use it. So let's just talk about that button on top. What its default purpose was for sensitivity, and I wondered why they did that. And you do get into an issue where, for some reason, this mouse doesn't move across the screen as well as a traditional mouse like this. I'm guessing there's going to be less movement given your wrist or whatever it is, and I think they knew that, and that's why I made this a sensitivity adjustment. Now, I don't think this on-the-fly sensitivity adjustment works well at all, and I don't use it for that. And I do use a few monitors, and at times I do find I'm like kind of like, hey, but honestly, if you adjust the resolution on the mouse correctly, sensitivity through the OS, you shouldn't have too much an issue. I don't, but I think you can adjust the settings to fine tune enough to your liking, but it might take, that too might take a little getting used to, and I think it has to do with the orientation of the mouse. The only downfall to Logitech products is their price. They're costly. Hey, look, you get what you pay for. I do believe in their products. So it does support Bluetooth, which is really nice. And then you wouldn't need the adapter, which further lends to the big question of what do I do with it? But this guy, this huge cavity, I mean, I don't know, is it really that packed in there that they couldn't find a spot to store the receiver? Because otherwise you're just going to lose these things. This material here feels real nice. It's, you know, it's a soft rubbery feel where the buttons themselves are smooth. The scroll wheel has that rubbery feel, outlined with the stainless accents. The soft gray up there. And, you know, their products just track so well. If you have any of their other products, it's going to pair right up with them. It's a little pricey, I think, especially given that it doesn't have the advanced scroll wheel. But I see it coming down in price, so maybe by the time you're looking to get it, it'll be a little more reasonable. I guess that's about it. I mean, so it's a big recommend. 2 thumbs up. It's a nice product, and that's it. Hope you found this review helpful. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching.